In 2023, the Hanrim Heights apartment complex in Seoul functioned as a standard 15-story concrete monolith. It housed a typical population of urban residents, each living within the predictable grid of its blueprints. Within the building, a psychological divide emerged. The individual apartments served as safe private zones, while the narrow, windowless stairwells became isolated transitional spaces where social norms began to erode. Around 2:13 a.m., residents began documenting anomalies in these corridors. Reports surfaced of whispers echoing between floors, and unrecognized figures standing completely motionless near the emergency exits. Building management dismissed these sightings. Official memos blamed urban isolation, severe sleep deprivation, and a shared sense of paranoia. Multiple tenants, however, shared a detail that defied simple psychological explanation. They claimed the strangers in the stairwell appeared entirely human until they attempted to mimic an expression, resulting in a distorted, unnatural smile. These encounters suggest a corruption within the building's own connective architecture, turning the internal pathways of the complex into an active threat. After midnight, the building's physical geometry appeared to rupture. Residents discovered an extra, unmapped level wedged between the standard floors. Floor 14. This isolated space featured a total absence of city noise, red emergency lighting, and vacant apartments with doors slightly open. While most witnesses fled, one resident captured direct documentary evidence, recording the anomaly on his phone. The footage shows a woman standing at the far end of the hallway, facing away from the camera. When the resident calls out, she breaks her own anatomy, tilting her head sideways at an impossible, cracking angle to observe him. The figure asks a single question: "You came up here alive?" The footage cuts to static immediately after, and the man was never seen again. Based on the cameraman's experience, Floor 14 appears to manifest as a mechanism for isolating and capturing human targets when they are most vulnerable. Internal CCTV data provides a timeline for the disappearance. At 2:13 a.m., the man entered the 8th floor stairwell. He never emerged from any exit. 3 hours later, security cameras recorded a group of figures descending toward the ground level. They moved with an unnaturally stiff, tall gait. Camera enhancement of the descent revealed a terrifying detail. Every figure in the group possessed the identical face of the man who vanished earlier. Leaked 911 audio suggests these entities eventually moved from the stairwells into the residential safe zones. The caller reports a figure standing outside her door, using her own voice to describe a wan smile. She identifies the entity as a copy of herself. A theory proposed by a former resident suggests these entities are flawed, biological copies. They appear to be attempting to learn and master human behavior through observation. This pattern of observation and replication suggests Hanrim Heights functions as a system designed to replace its legitimate human tenants. In early 2024, authorities initiated an extreme quarantine of the building. They permanently sealed all stairwell access doors with solid concrete barriers. A new mandate forced all remaining residents to use only the elevators, effectively severing the building's internal transition zones from the living areas. Despite the solid barriers, construction crews reported hearing slow, upward-moving footsteps echoing from behind the freshly poured concrete. Workers eventually uncovered physical evidence behind the walls. They found a heavily rusted metal plaque bearing the number 14 embedded in the structure. The physical reality of this rusted sign suggests the anomaly has integrated into the building's permanent material structure. The sealed stairwells now serve as an undisturbed, lightless incubator, allowing the building to perfect its imitations in total isolation.